Hello, Gemini. You know the common saying my grandma used to tell me, who is a Gemini. Don't ask me no questions, won't tell you no lies. Gemini. Alright. There's a charismatic Sun-Venus conjunction in your witty sign on June 3rd that makes you stand out from everyone else because Venus is retrograde. However, issues from the past could resurface to spoil some of your fun. Be open and honest and try not to let what's already happened ruin what's still to come. A powerful Sun-Mars square on the 6th threatens to cast a negative shadow over most of your interactions, creating resentment, impatience, and anger over even the smallest of things. If you feel these emotions coming on, take a step back and reprioritize things, Gemini. Mercury goes retrograde in domestic Cancer on June 17th, which could sabotage plans you have to make home improvements or finish do-it-yourself projects around the house. Last-minute changes can be frustrating, but it's better to go with the flow than stick with methods that clearly aren't working. Money-focused Venus goes direct in your quick-thinking sign on the 24th, which could help you make some very wise short-term investments. Ask lots of questions and gather as much information as possible before you let a great financial opportunity pass you by. Alright, Gemini. How have things been? Let me know in the comments. Click the links below. Present, your current situation, Gemini, in June of 2020. Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, destiny, turning point, movement, personal vision. Using what chance offers, experiencing change, reversing, seeing how everything connects. Influence, helpful or challenging energies, Gemini, in June of 2020. Nine of Swords in reverse. In reverse means the opposite of what I'm saying, or half the power, half the meaning of the card. It's up to you. It's your perception. Nine of Swords, worry, guilt, anguish, doubting all will go well, despairing, regretting some offense. Past issues are the basis of the situation, Gemini, in June of 2020. Death. Ending, transition, elimination, inexorable forces. Closing one door to open another. Cutting out what isn't necessary, and changing status. Being in the path of sweeping change. Immediate past was behind you, Gemini, in June of 2020. Queen of Pentacles in reverse, that's Virgo energy. Nurturing, big-hearted, down-to-earth, resourceful, trustworthy, gives love and support, finds a use for whatever's at hand, keeps confidences and secrets, will do any service for others, handles problems matter-of-factly. Crowning thoughts or thoughts regarding the situation, Gemini, in June of 2020. Page of Wands. Young fire sign. Being creative, being enthusiastic, being confident, being courageous. Take a novel approach. Tackle a challenge. Take a risk. Jump in wholeheartedly. Immediate future. What is about to happen, Gemini, in June of 2020? Relationship, sexuality, personal beliefs, values. Establishing bonds, questioning received opinions, struggling with temptation, seeking union. Your fears, emotional concerns regarding the situation, Gemini, in June of 2020. Ten of Pentacles. Affluence, permanence, convention, having material abundance, staying within established guidelines, looking for a solution that will last. Reinforcing cards, lovers, permanent unions, family ties. Creating a lasting foundation, feeling secure as things are, being concerned with the long term, having an orderly family life, moving beyond makeshift arrangements, nailing down the plan. That's what you're emotionally concerned about, Gemini. Environmental factors, how others see you, Gemini, in June of 2020. Page of Cups, young water sign. Being emotional, being intuitive, being intimate, being loving, be moved or touched, start or renew a love affair, receive guidance from within, making a thoughtful gesture. Your hopes, what you really wish for, Gemini, in June of 2020. Queen of Cups, Pisces. Loving, tender-hearted, psychic, spiritual, intuitive. Turns away wrath with caring, is open to the unconscious, is easily moved by another's pain, feels oneness with God and the universe, is always tuned to emotional undercurrents. Outcome answers your question, Gemini, in June of 2020. Seven of Wands in reverse. Aggression, defiance, conviction, going after what you want, being sure, holding out against pressure. Additional clues and guidance about the reading, Gemini, in June of 2020. Nine of Pentacles. Six of Cups. Ace of Cups in reverse. Page of Pentacles in reverse, young earth sign. Top of the deck, Ten of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Nine of Cups in reverse. Nine of Pentacles, discipline, self-reliance, refinement, exercising self-control, achieving a comfortable lifestyle, handling the situation alone. Six of Cups, goodwill, innocence, childhood, acting kindly or charitably, being with a child or young person, feeling simple contentment. Opposing card on your helpful or challenging energies was the Nine of Swords, guilty. Surrounding yourself with goodness, being blissfully unaware, having a clear conscience, shunning corruption, being acquitted, appreciating simple joys. Ace of Cups, emotional force, intuition, intimacy, love. Getting in touch with your feelings, feeling an attraction grow, expressing affection, trusting your inner voice. But that was in reverse. Page of Pentacles, having an effect, being practical, being prosperous, being trustworthy or trusting. Make your plans real, draw to you what you need. Accept that the solution is well in hand. Take a realistic approach. But once again, it was in reverse as well. Ten of Wands. Overextending, burden, struggle, trying to do too much, fighting uphill, never having time to relax. Reinforcing card, Nine of Swords, worrying, feeling tied to a treadmill, being tacked to the limit, assuming responsibility, being held accountable, carrying out an unpleasant duty, cleaning up a messy situation, being left holding the bag. And then bottom of the deck, Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment, satisfaction, sensual pleasure, achieving what you desire, experiencing luxury, indulging in a little smugness. Reinforcing cards immediate future, lovers, sexual pleasure. So, savoring a delicious meal, appreciating the arts, making love, relaxing, experiencing beauty, enjoying physical exertion. But remember, it was in reverse, so it's all up to you. Now we do the Ego Shadow Carl Jung version of the reading. That's what I call it. If you don't know who it is, go look up Carl, Carl Jung, psychology. Read the red book. From the Ego, why is the Wheel of Fortune here in the current situation, Gemini, in June of 2020? Lovers, which relates to your immediate future. Divine lover, love as often as you can and in as many ways as possible. Love deeply, fully, and completely. Love is the human manifestation of divine connection in the material world. Now, from the Shadow, we have the Dark Grimoire deck. From the Shadow, why is the Wheel of Fortune here in the current situation, Gemini, in June of 2020? The Fool. If the abyss of the unconscious unexpectedly gapes open before you, all reason may fail. As you pass the spheres of existence one by one, you approach the center of the external universe where time and space no longer have meaning. Extraordinary creatures are born of chaos in the mad mind of Azathoth and settle in the multidimensional world. From the Ego, why is this Nine of Swords in reverse here in influence, helpful, or challenging energies, Gemini, in June of 2020? High Priestess. The Keeper of Mysteries, books and knowledge point to the doors of mystery. To experience magic, you must cross the threshold and give yourself over to the mystery, letting go of expectations. From the Shadow, why is this Nine of Swords in reverse here in influence, helpful, or challenging energies, Gemini, in June of 2020? Knave of Wands. Knaves represent presage of the onset of a transformation, secret learning of the hidden knowledge of the pyramids. Wands are lights and represent creativity and the element of fire, corresponding to our own creative center. Together with sexuality, lights defeat the darkness and disperse fears, releasing a vibrant creativity. From the Ego, why is the Death here in past issues? The basis of the situation, Gemini, in June of 2020. Star. Glimpse of the divine. The divine is all around us in the world and others. Look with eyes to see, with a heart to love, and with a mind of compassion, and you will see the divine when you do reach and connect. From the Shadow, why is the Death here in past issues, the basis situation, Gemini, in June of 2020? Ace of Chalices. Aces are the book of an individual potential is still closed, a beginning, concentration of forces. Chalices are dreams. They represent emotional and the element of water corresponding to our own emotional center. Joys and pains, dreams are delicate and are held in the heart like wine in a chalice. Dreams sometimes well and overflow like tears in our eyes when we are moved. From the ego, why is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse here in the immediate past? Gemini in June of 2020. Ten of Chalices. The chalice fulfilled. When the dream of the chalice is realized, the mundane reveals its magic and separation evaporates, giving way to intimacy. Everyone is allowed to be and all are better for it. From the shadow lies the Queen of Pentacles in reverse here in the immediate past for Gemini in June of 2020. King of Pentacles. Kings represent the control of shadows, the full possession of one's resources. Shadows represent matter and the element of the earth, correspond to our own physical center, the body, its needs, and the material that surrounds it. Amidst the shadows grow attachments of men who identify themselves, or women, who identify themselves with their body and with the objects they possess. From the ego, why is this Page of Wands here in Crowning Thoughts? Your thoughts regarding the situation. Gemini in June of 2020. The Tower. Devouring thunder. Nature abhors a vacuum and static systems stagnate. Before you fall in love with your creation, your world view, destroy it, or it will be done for you. From the shadow, why is the Page of Wands here in the Crowning Thoughts? Thoughts regarding the situation, Gemini, in June of 2020. Two of Chalices. Twos represent diverse energies face off in the depths. Obstacles, a critical point, accumulation. Chalices or dreams represent emotions and the element of water. Corresponding to your own emotional center, joys and pains. Dreams are delicate and are held in the heart like wine in a chalice. Dreams sometimes well and overflow like tears in our eyes when we are moved. From the ego, eyes the lovers here in the immediate future, Gemini, in June of 2020. Strength. The Shield Tamer. There is no need to fight others directly. Be a compassionate reflection, showing people themselves. Being a servant and proclaimer of truth is the strongest action. From the shadow lies the lovers here in the immediate future, Gemini in June of 2020. Justice. At the foot of the impassive and severe idol that keeps the chalices of shadow and of light in equilibrium, the servitors of Cthulhu have left traces of black magic, invocations of demons, and voodoo rituals. From the ego lies the Ten of Pentacles here in your fears, emotional concerns, Gemini in June of 2020. Eight of Books. The book creates. Your project is quickly becoming what it was designed to be. You've already set things in motion, so step back and watch. If you interfere, you may ruin everything. From the shadow lies the Ten of Pentacles here in your fears, emotional concerns, Gemini in June of 2020. Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands. Tens represent the end of the chapter of the Grimoire, represents fulfillment, consolidation, and a new beginning. Wands are lights and represent creativity and the element of fire, corresponding to our own creative center. Together with sexuality, the lights defeat the darkness and disperse fears, releasing your vibrant creativity. From the ego, why is this Page of Cups here in your environmental factors, how others see you, Gemini, June of 2020? Griffin of Spheres. The sphere in action, all the potential of life is just that, potential. For it to be realized, risks must be taken, decisions made, and actions decided. Unless the sphere is broken, it's nothing more than a shiny ball. From the shadow, why is the Page of Cups here in your environmental factors, how others see you, Gemini, in June of 2020? Queen of Wands. Queens represent the keeper of the forces of Wands. Centers the perception of this Wands energy. Lights and represent creativity and the element of fire, corresponding to our own creative center. Together with sexuality, lights defeat their darkness and disperse fears, releasing a vibrant creativity. From the ego, why is the Queen of Cups here in your hopes, what you really wish for, Gemini, in June of 2020? Eight of Spheres. The sphere entangled, you are facing a task that requires patience and finesse. You cannot rush this process or you risk ruining everything. Take things at one slow and steady step at a time. From the shadow, why is the Queen of Cups here in your hopes, what you really wish for, Gemini, in June of 2020? King of Chalices. Kings represent the control of the dreams, the full possession of the one's resources. So emotions and the element of water correspond to your own emotional center, joys and pains. Dreams are delicate and are held in the heart like wine in a chalice. Dreams sometimes well and overflow, like tears in our eyes when we are moved. From the ego, why is the Seven of Wands in reverse? And the outcome answers your question, Gemini, in June of 2020. Unicorn of Chalices. The pure chalice, the values worth dying for and that make life worth living, hold the potential to change and heal with the world. They only do this when we express them from a place of unwounded wholeness. From the shadow, why is the Seven of Wands in reverse here? And the outcome answer your question, Gemini, in June of 2020. Two of Swords. Two represents diverse energies face off in the depths. Obstacles, a critical point, accumulation. Swords are demons and represent thoughts in the element of air, corresponding to our own intellectual center. With the mind and its potential, if thoughts escape our control, they can become obsessions, taking the form of demons that enslave the mind. Alright, now we pull for a deck for the overall message from your ego, Isis Oracle. What is the message from the ego for Gemini in June of 2020? Healing the divine masculine. Osiris rises. The divine masculine within men and women is the energy that allows for protection, discernment, healing, and a sense of deep safety and holding, even though the most uncomfortable circumstances of life. When the masculine within us is healthy and strong, We have an inner strength to hold ourselves safe through anything. Your inner masculine is going through healing right now, growing stronger in his ability to offer you inner protection and stability so that your inner feminine can blossom with creative expression. The inner masculine and inner feminine need each other. When they are in good inner relationship with us, we feel like healthy, whole human beings. We are able to live as ourselves in the world in a relatively peaceful, creative, and enjoyable way. When there is damage to the inner masculine, there is difficulty in standing up for our truths and knowing what our truths and values are, and in knowing how to protect them without feeling as though we have to fight constantly just to be allowed to be ourselves. We might also feel that unless others see things as we do, we have no power and then have to fight to dominate others, manipulating them to our point of view. The inner masculine part of us often needs healing so that he can fulfill his divine purpose of inner strength, protection, and honoring of the self in all its uniqueness, so that we can live as free, strong individuals that know who they are and are happy to just love and be that person, and will allow others to do the same. This will happen at any time he is asked to hold even more consciousness, to hold permission and strength, to be even more of the unique self. The masculine and the feminine within us need to be balanced and with each other. There is no point having a powerful feminine with unique values and strong creative force without an equally strong masculine energy that is able to act upon those unique values no matter what others may think and take action to allow the creative force of the inner feminine to flow into form in the physical world. When your inner feminine is growing and desires to express her uniqueness in the world more boldly than ever before, the inner masculine needs to grow in self-belief, self-worth, and self-confidence so that he may take action to allow the blossoming feminine to truly be in the world whilst feeling secure and safe. This oracle indicates your feminine self is blooming and your masculine needs to be able to protect and honor her. Sometimes, just as Isis looked for Osiris to help put him back together when he was torn apart by hatred, fear, and jealousy of his dark brother Set, our feminine needs to help the masculine to heal so he in turn can help her. Your masculine consciousness can be healed and grow stronger through his relationship to the inner feminine within you. By adjusting and healing our own views of masculine energy so that our feminine is no longer willing to experience masculine energy as violent, aggressive, unfeeling, or controlling, a healing shift begins. The divine inner feminine can then choose to relate to the divine inner masculine in a different way, to hold a different vision and different beliefs of who he is, what he can do, and what his purpose might be. She might choose to experience him as a tender, protective, strong, discerning, and stabilizing energy. What this looks like in our life experience is a change in how we are within ourselves and with others, in how we move and live and experience the world. We have more of a willingness to be kind to ourselves, to honor our feelings, and to not be bullied into stepping away from our truths by others or even by our own self-doubt and self-criticism. It is an inner commitment to love and honor the self and an inner trust in this commitment. So when the feelings arise to try something new creatively or spiritually, for example, there is trust that this will be respected and acted upon, and it is. When the healing of this relationship begins to occur within us, our outer relationships also change and flow into healthier expression. We begin to feel safe, protected, and strong enough to take risks and live a bold, expressive, truthful, and creative life with more energy and passion. The oracle guides you to realize that your inner masculine could benefit from some restoration and healing about or after being ravaged by expectations that in order to be acceptable he should never feel anything, that he should always be dominant, and that only the most violent and aggressive alpha masculine behaviors are to be respected. If you are already working on this aspect of your own healing, you are encouraged by this oracle that it is working, and stay with your process. You are encouraged to empower your masculine energy, seeing it as tender, protective, containing, strong, and aware. You are also encouraged to continually choose to let go of behaviors that cast the masculine as perpetrator or as dominating. Use your inner feminine courage, trust, and determination to avoid castrating the masculine by considering it weak, useless, or unnecessary. For healing to happen for both masculine and feminine, we must be prepared to let go of feelings of victimization, domination, disappointment, and dissatisfaction, and do the sometimes challenging inner work of learning to relate to masculine and feminine energy with a completely different approach. This can be enough to set healing in motion. It takes persistence, determination, patience, and application for the damaged masculine within us and outside of us to be restored to glory. With Isis to help us, great healing miracles are made possible. Once the masculine begins to gain strength and be empowered to express itself in a less cliched and more authentic way, we gain the wisdom and power of honoring and boundaries. We learn how to respect and be respectful without losing our power or becoming servile. We learn how to serve others from a place of empowerment and peace, and we learn how to cut through manipulations and posturing in the world of relationships straight to the truth of a matter. Masculine and feminine energies can then do what they are ultimately designed or destined to do, which is unite in love to create harmony, bliss, and the peaceful fulfillment of inner wholeness. All right, we have divine circus for the shadow. Divine Circus Oracle from the Shadow. What is the message for Gemini in June of 2020? Out of darkness. Something that has been troubling you, something dark within you or in your life, is about to become something else. You won't see it coming, but when the time is right, and it soon will be, out of darkness will come new life. A seed of new life is growing. Perhaps you cannot see it or feel it because the seed begins its journey to new life in the darkness, hidden away from sight and away from light. The seed is destined to bring new life to a situation that might seem to be dying, a fresh perspective to a stale problem. When the time is right, and that is fast approaching, the seed will push through, rise up, and reveal itself. It will no longer be just a seed, but a shoot that will grow into a plant and can then flower and bear fruit. It is not a question of whether or not it is going to happen. It is going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Whatever struggle or challenge is in your life or your heart right now, trust that it is going to work out. Not only that, but the very thing that seems to be darkest in your life, the most troublesome, is actually going to be what brings forth a beautiful gift of new life. In a strange way, it is actually trying to help you. It is assisting you in being ready to receive and experience new life, for something new to be born in you and in your life. This might be the realization of your own inner strength, your courage, the development of belief in yourself, confidence or trust, your instincts, or some other gift yet to be understood. In time, you'll see that those gifts developed in order to get through the darkness help you step out of the darkness and into a whole new life. Soon you'll see that there was an opportunity and even a blessing hiding in the troubles of your past, just waiting for the right time to transform itself into light and life. The Druid Craft Tarot deck. What is the overall meaning, underlying energies of the Celtic cross spread and the cards that are laid out for Gemini in June of 2020? Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands in reverse. The end of an infatuation or loving relationship, jealousy and conflict bringing confusion and uncertainty to a relationship. Projects or journeys could be delayed. A shift of attitude may be all that's needed. What is the overall meaning, underlying energies of the Celtic staff and the cards laid out for Gemini in June of 2020? Two of Wands. The energy and potential of a partnership, allowing the relationship between two ideas, projects, or feelings to unfold and open up new areas of possibility. Although you are satisfied that you have everything you need, you may also long for more. You may be searching for deeper meaning or contemplating taking a journey. What's the overall meaning, underlying energies of the additional clues and the card and guidance and the cards laid out for Gemini in June of 2020? Two of Cups. The power and experience of love, creative blessings that result from the meeting of hearts. A romantic relationship or any meeting of hearts, minds, and souls, the union of opposites or polarities, using the power of love to heal, to engender cooperation, or to effect reconciliation. The Druid Animal Oracle. Which animal has a message for Gemini in June of 2020? Ram. Sacrifice, breakthrough, achievement. The card shows a ram with an ewe and lambs in the background. To the left, we see sheep's kidney, and to the right, sheep's sorrel. In the foreground grows stone bramble. A ram-headed snake is carved in the rock. Rife brings the ability to achieve a breakthrough, particularly attached to the place of its birth. The ram represents connection, rootedness, stability, and yet it also represents the power to penetrate, overcome, and achieve. Working with the ram as your ally will help you to find the inner strength you need to succeed. At the same time, you need not fear losing your head on the dizzy heights of success, because the ram will help to keep you grounded and will remind you of the practical necessities of life. By being patient and attending to the needs of your daily life as well as your future goals, you will find the day comes when you achieve a breakthrough, accomplishing what you have set out to achieve and discovering that you have also come home. Drawn reverse, this card suggests that although a part of you may enjoy competition, locking horns with a friend or enemy may be called on to make a sacrifice. Sometimes letting go, however painful, can open the door to a new life that you never thought you could achieve. Rather than banging your head against a brick wall, see if it is possible for you to walk around it. Alternatively, it could be that you should be moving in a different direction and the brick wall is there for a reason, even if you cannot figure out why just yet. Ask yourself the question, where do I feel really at home? Follow your instincts and your practical nature to create a home around you that is truly comfortable and truly yours. The tradition of the ram. Thursday, gentle St. Columba's Day, the day to put sheep to pasture, Highland saying. The Celts kept sheep primarily for wool and milk, but also for meat. Just as the tree was revered for the great contribution it made to humanity, so too were sheep for all they gave. Both came to symbolize sacrifice, for the tree surrendered its life to give warmth, furnishing and shelter, having already given its shade, oxygen, and fruit. And the sheep likewise gave its life to give nourishment, having already given its coat and its milk many times. The god of the tree, also known as Gaulish Druids as Isus, at least 200 years before the time of Jesus, and the fact that he too came to symbolize sacrifice may well point to a mysterious connection between Druidry and early Christianity, particularly since legend tells of the boy Jesus traveling with his uncle Joseph of Arimathea to Glastonbury, where incidentally wool was produced on a very large scale. Although sheep were valued primarily for their live contributions to the economy, the ram was considered particularly suitable for sacrifice. Ram roasting feasts were held near old standing stones in Devon at Beltane, and on Midsummer's Day the ram's throat would be cut as it was tethered to the stone, and dancing, games, and wrestling would follow the feast, with the meat bringing good luck to all who ate it. Nowadays, such a festival is held at Kingstayton on Whit Monday, but the ram is not slaughtered publicly. The connection between rams and sacrifice is hinted at in Scottish tradition, according to which sheep once had the gift of speech. On leaving paradise, their last words were, "Do not burn our bones." In effect, this meant great care had to be taken when roasting sheep, and their bones were never cast into the fire. Fire dogs were often wrought with ram's head, and this may well represent an association between the animal and its sacrificial role. When a sheep was killed, each part was allocated by tradition to a member of the household: the liver to the carpenter, the heart to the shepherd, and the shoulder to the astronomer. In ancient times, the astronomer may well have been the astrologer, the druid or ovate, who in Scotland, Wales, and some parts of England used an ancient method of divination based on the scrutiny of the shoulder blade of the sheep. The tradition that sheep could talk may refer precisely to the fact that their bones talked in divination, and that their skin helped to make music, for both drum skins and the bags of bagpipes were furnished by sheep. As well as providing music, sheep were also believed to offer considerable healing. Sleeping amongst them was curative if you had a lingering illness. Their kneecaps provided a remedy against cramp, and for whooping cough and jaundice, a decoction of sheep's droppings was recommended. The teaching of the opposites. In the Irish tale, The Voyage of Melduin, the hero and his 20 companions find themselves visiting a series of magical islands, many of which are ruled over by animals. One of these is the island of Black and White, with a brass fence dividing it in two. On one side is a flock of white sheep, on the other side a black flock. A shepherd throws a white sheep into the black flock and it becomes black. He then does the reverse. When a black sheep turns white, the story hints at a teaching about the nature of opposites, articulated most clearly in Taoist tradition, but also evident within much of Druidry. We are reminded too of the belief that a black sheep in the white flock brings good luck. In another tale, The Voyage of Teague, an island is discovered populated with sheep as big as horses. One flock is composed of huge rams, with one having 9 horns. This giant ram attacks Teague's men, but he kills it, and it takes 20 of them to carry it away. Another giant ram can be found in the old English folk song, The Derby Tup, which describes a beast whose horns grew so high. Every time he shook his head, they rattled against the sky. Describing its midwinter slaughter and the gifts it provides suggests that the song may relate to an old custom of ram sacrifice at the solstice. The ram-headed serpent. A powerful symbol in Druid and Celtic tradition was the ram-headed serpent, a composite creature that we find depicted 3 times on the Gunstrup cauldron. In France, there are bronze and stone sculptures of the horned god Cernunnos, whose body is encircled by a pair of horned snakes, and these creatures are depicted on other Gaulish carvings in association with the goddess and a young man. In Gloucestershire, there is an image of Cernunnos in which 2 ram horned snakes make up his 2 legs, their heads emerging on either side of his head. These and other images suggest that the ram's head was added to the serpent's body to emphasize the power and penetrative nature of the masculine. Its association in iconography with solar and sky gods reinforces this interpretation. The ram was not used as a symbol of warriorhood. Instead, its connection with power, fertilization, and healing was stressed by associating it with the snake. Earth Wisdom Oracle. What's the message for Gemini in June of 2020? Divine love. The rose is a well-known symbol of unconditional love and healing. Rose quartz amplifies love, compassion, and kindness. We are humans who carry within us the light of the divine, and as such, we are capable of expressing that love, even when circumstances make it difficult. It is easier to slip into love and compassion when you've experienced it yourself. Open yourself up to divine love. Make it a commitment to it. Bind yourself to it. Tie a ribbon around your waist to remind you of your divine marriage. I am loved. I am committed to nurturing my loving relationship with the divine and with all beings. What's the overall message, underlying energies of the entire reading for Gemini in June of 2020? Strength. Strength denotes a strong personal character with high self-worth and confidence, and is the very foundation of the physical body. The card indicates qualities of perseverance, courage, resolve, and inner strength that will see you through your hardest times. It also indicates the ability to relate to others in an open and friendly way and to deal with life to the best of your ability. From the Native Spirits Oracle cards, what is the message for Gemini in June of 2020? Trickster. Things are not as they seem. Something that seems bad may be in fact good, and vice versa. Don't take everything at face value. Look beneath the surface. This card encourages you to try to find humor or gentle amusement in seemingly difficult situations. It also encourages you to have irrepressible fun. Step out of the mold. In indigenous traditions, there is the concept of the tricksters. In Native American traditions, the trickster is often depicted as a wily coyote, but sometimes the trickster is the human called Heyoka. There is a light-hearted, fun aspect of the trickster, but there's also the caution of tread carefully because things are not always as they seem. Be discerning. What appears to be good opportunity may in fact be not. The wonderful aspect of this card choosing you is that it offers the opportunity to step out of old, outmoded ways of perceiving yourself. The trickster allows you to see yourself in an entirely new way, and it asks you to step out of old routines and habits that might be keeping you stagnant. Foxfire the Kitsune. What is the message you have for Gemini in June of 2020? The Awakening. Number 14. Sleep no more, soul child. The time for rest is done, and now you are awakened to action by the great golden dragon of the day. Ancient Fred to the Kitsune. In the realms unseen for most humans, forgotten by nearly all humans, there are great dragons who stand at the edge of the day's birth and death, helping all within the realm to arise and awaken the blessings of each day. The great golden dragon within this card heralds the awakening of the day, and when this card comes to you, you know you are being called to arise and awaken to a new day within your life. You are called to awaken to your own belief and your own knowledge, to the truth of your own soul, and to rise up and embrace it all, to know your worth and your beauty, and to shine it out through the day before you. Treat this as a new time, even when it contains old stories, as it is still a great and beautiful opportunity to take all that is within you and make the very most of all that is. When this card comes to you, it is a reminder too that there are parts of you which are asleep and or resting, dormant, and underlived, and they must now be awakened. Think now, seeker, on the dreams and wishes you sent to sleep over the years. Let them now gently awaken one by one as the days before you unfold, so that they come to life again, not as dreams and ideas any longer, but as events and experiences that become your life. Awaken to your power, awaken to your sleeping soul, and arise like this great dragon of the day and call out to the world that you are coming into this day fearlessly, ready to live fully and embrace the adventures of this gift called life. Sacred geometry activations. What's the message you have for Gemini in June of 2020? Change. Number 12, the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. Change is the only constant we can count on, like the three seasons. Everything comes and goes in cycles. The ebb and flow, the day and night, the death and rebirth. Good times are followed by challenging times, followed by weird times, followed by ecstatic times. Nothing stays the same for long. Life itself demands movement and change to perpetuate itself. Change is represented by the turning of a circle or a wheel, showing us the forever changing nature of everything in the universe. In fact, the very concept of the universe is changing, and we are slowly accepting that a multiverse might be a more appropriate description. How we handle this constant change depends on where the center of our awareness lies. When we are deeply rooted in our own core, in our heart, at the center of the circle, the movements of change affect us less than when we are focused on the outward parts of ourselves, the outer parts of the circle. As on a spinning wheel, the closer we are to the center, the steadier everything is. The transparent red square that partially covers the wheel is our perception of our form-based world, which appears to be solid but is really only another layer of reality. The lights on the concerns reminds us of our ability to reach beyond the illusionary three-dimensional boundaries at any time we choose. From the center, 5 beautiful flowers emerge, slowly flowing outward. Or is it the other way around? Are the flowers emerging from the edges of our awareness into our center? In numerology, the number 5 is associated with change, and these flowers represent the beautiful potential for new life and possibilities to grow from each new moment, even in the midst of seemingly chaotic change. White Light Oracle. What is the message you have for Gemini in June of 2020? Yogini of 285 hertz. Number 14. Changes in your life, including closing doors or missed opportunities, are not going to derail your fulfillment. Realignments are happening based on divine wisdom and timing. You are being diverted from unnecessary obstacles and suffering. Trust in how your life path is unfolding. Stay true to your authentic healing journey because it is working. Whether you realize that or not, significant inner healing is taking place. In numerous spiritual traditions of the East, such as those from Nepal, Tibet, and India, the yogini is a female spiritual adept, a practitioner of deep yoga that awakens a powerful connection with one's real inner being. The yogini holds space for healing and enlightenment, moving through obstacles and challenges with wisdom, patience, commitment, and often great joy. She is our spiritual sister, our sacred friend, and our guide away from the bleak, erroneous thinking of ego into the softened, awakened, relaxed, gracious way of spirit. When the yogini of 285 hertz makes her presence felt in a reading, there's a sign that we are on a powerful healing journey to connect body, mind, and soul with the truth of our spiritual nature. We are working at an inner level to let go of past pains and open up to our empowerment and grace, dignity, and legitimacy. In the present moment, this oracle indicates there is a spiritual approach to heal any and all struggles in our lives. The tone of 285 Hz supports the treatments of wounds, cuts, burns, and any other damaged tissue. It is the tone of optimal health. Just like the yogini who has access to the original vitality of our spirit and seeks to infuse that well-being into the body, mind, and soul, this tone is healing, correcting that which has fallen out of alignment, bringing it back to center. As the frequency of the cosmic blueprint, it helps heal our physical body and align us on our soul's journey, synchronizing our inner and outer lives. If you have felt conflict between your inner aspirations and your outer reality, the oracle indicates that the time for healing change has come. The soul blueprint is the original spiritual plan for our development. It is the innate guiding wisdom within each being that knows what it is meant to be. An example is the intelligence within the caterpillar that knows how to move with patience and process, transforming into a butterfly. The original and purposeful wisdom of our true nature is life-changing. It can dissolve inherent pains and psychological struggles and allow projections from others, which may be influencing us, yet are about their desires, not our true nature, to cease to have an effect. Under the influence of 285 Hz frequency, we embrace who we really are. If you feel disoriented or conflicted about a choice, trust that this chaos is a consequence of cosmic realignment with your life path. Move through it with trust in your heart, patience, and a willingness to keep the faith, knowing you will eventually find your way. The adjustments taking place within you will affect your outer world, just like the tumultuous alchemical journey of the caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. Your inner transformation shall shape you and your world into the beautiful, inspired, and authentic form it is meant to be. Alright, this is where we get the title of your video, the Wisdom Oracle deck. Wisdom of the Oracle, what is the message you have for Gemini in June of 2020? Thinker. Thinker, essential meaning, strategy, being analytical and logical. The Oracle's message, the ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct, for in this moment there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple and you will win the game of life you're playing right now. Relationship message, love is not logical, but when you choose a partner, it is good to have things in common other than desire. This is a time to weigh the pros and cons of your partnership. If there's enough common ground, go for it. If not, there are other fish in the sea. Don't force it to work. And should others tell you who they are, take them at their word. Now is not the time to indulge in a fantasy. No matter what, in this case, the facts are the facts. Prosperity message. Calculated action is called for now. It's important to sit down and plan a strategy. Focus on the steps you're going to take to claim your prosperous life. Lists are your friend now, so get out your journal. Write down what you're going to do today to signal to the universe that you're serious about attracting abundance. Your plans and strategies will yield wonderful results. Remember, your most effective strategic partner is spirit. You will win this game, and your triumph will be for the highest good of all. Protection message. You might be suffering from analysis paralysis. Thinking has its place, but trying to figure everything out logically is not going to work right now. Your consciousness will likely be faulty, and you might act upon false assumptions that will get you in a jam. Give your mind a rest. Do something creative, exercise, or meditate. Soon you'll come to your senses, and an aha moment will bring new clarity. Sacred Power reading cards. Sacred Power reading cards. What's your message for Gemini in June of 2020? Truth. Habitual thoughts and fear-based emotions are related to us through our ego. Fear is the primary action of the ego and causes us to hold on to our intellect, habits, impulses, and instincts. Like a dedicated actor sticking to a script, the lower self creates obstacles when you attempt to nurture yourself, grow your spirit, or support your soul's potential. Forcing thought when you actually want to be still can either drive the exploration of ideas or paralysis day-to-day activities. Paralysis can cause feelings of stagnation, being stuck in the past, trapped within your circumstances. Ultimately, the lower self takes us out of the present moment and we stop truly living. Focusing on the past causes barriers to reaching our highest self-guidance and inner being. It's common for people to assume that the ego is an all negative and bad persona that we should lock up and never let out. In fact, the ego can push people to take risks, be adventurous, and entrepreneurial. So who are you? This knowledge will empower and inspire you to push past ego boundaries and fear-based subconscious thought patterns. Train your ego to take a back seat. Right now, you need to disarm your ego. Focus on the now and what you can physically achieve in the moment. Push past the fear and face it head on. Feel the fear and do it anyway. The ego mask is a mental shield that is neither a good nor bad aspect of you. The ego is not something that you can be destroyed. So we must make peace with it. Remove your mask and see what is hiding behind it. Be mindful of others' masks. You are not seeing or accepting the reality and truth of the situation. Assess your emotional reactivity. What is your lower self teaching you now? Recognize your emotions when they arise. Accept them without judgment. Release them with love and gratitude and act appropriately. Affirmation: I am creating peaceful experiences. I acknowledge and accept emotions as they arise within me without judgment. Cosmic reading cards. From the Cosmic Reading Cards, what's the message for Gemini in June of 2020? Strength. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. This card comes to you to remind you of your inner strength and courage. Although you may be feeling weary and hopeless at this time, do not lose faith and heart. You are a lot stronger than you realize. Moving through this chapter of your life will understand the lesson of having to release your inner resistance and fears. By uncovering your true strength, you'll have the courage to move through it with clarity, understanding, and compassion. Your prayers for strength have been heard. Release all fears that are blocking spiritual guidance. Breaking down walls will help you see, dear one, all the synchronicities and signs communicated to you. The spirit teachers of love and light wish only to serve the highest good for you, for all. To offer guidance, love, and reminders of what you already hold within yourself. You hold so much strength, courage, determination, and perseverance. The first step in uncovering and balancing your true strength is to accept your current state, whether it is vulnerability, powerlessness, emotional fragility, or weakness. The second step is surrendering to that universal life force of love. Allow the third step, empowerment, to flow into your life naturally. Strength and empowerment will come. Use this chapter to find your deepest source of strength, to renew your faith and be all that you truly are, a spiritual warrior living in conscious freedom. Prayer. Great Spirit, guide me through this period. Give me the insight, courage, and strength I need to cultivate the source of strength already within me. Associated chakras, sacral, solar plexus. And that's your reading, Gemini, for June of 2020. Leave a comment, let me know. Email me. It's below the video. Thank you. Have a great day.